hustling, chasing dreams since I was 14 with the 4-track bustin'. Halfway across that city with the back question. Labels out here, now they can't.
And they're a bit earlier, the Pistons getting mentally and physically ready to play. From suburban Detroit, we proudly bring you the Pistons at the Palace of Auburn Hills. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. A factor in every game, Russell Westbrook will be on display.
And Westbrook is so dynamic offensively. Guys, his ability to score in transition may be unmatched in this league. And I still think he has potential to be even better defensively. So incredible how good this guy could be.
Yeah, he has the quickness and speed to dart in and break up a play, whether it's picking off a pass or just taking it out of your hands.
The Detroit Pistons come into this one after the win against the Indiana Pacers. And guys, it could have gone either way. Nearly won that one by 2.
And Kevin, that was an outstanding win. To get it the way they did in overtime made it that much sweeter, I think.
I agree, and I think most people probably thought that once they couldn't win it in regular...
Now let's send it over to Doris Burke, who was able to talk with Scott Brooks.
Coach had nothing but praise for his players, saying they played as well as I've ever seen them play. Everyone is making the right decisions, and honestly, they're playing so well, they don't even need a coach right now. That's an interesting sentiment, guys.
All right, Doris, thanks.
A wide open 3. They need much better communication defensively.
And we've got a moment now to look at the highest scoring teams in the NBA from last season. In third, the Thunder.
I just loved how this team attacked their opponents. I mean, you can see their confidence growing as they continue to put up points on the board.
And Oklahoma City making a change here. Perkins is checked in. And the Thunder with the possession here. 4-point game. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
When you think of the Detroit Pistons, you always think back to some of the big powerhouse championship teams of the late 80s or early 2000s when they won titles as well. They've always been a team to contend with, but fans are being put through a pretty good test here as they rebuild.
And that one's good.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
Westbrook with it. Now guarded by Jay. Westbrook kicks to Lamb. Three-pointer. No good. The Pistons go the other way with it. Another season for Detroit and another year that their fans would like to forget. Steve, they were one of the younger teams in the league last season. You can expect a team so young to take some lumps.
Oh, for sure. But there's some good young talent. Monroe, Drummond, of course, they signed Josh Smith. And this is a team that has plenty of ability. And they're trying to put it together now this year.
Westbrook. The 9-footer's on the mark. Westbrook's got his second bucket of the night.
Offensively, he can be the engine that drives them at any given time.
No good from Jay.
Take a look at the rebound totals, guys. That's +5 now on the glass.
And, Steve, I don't think there's any question which team came out with more energy and enthusiasm.
Lamb, good.
You know, even though he doesn't really have the long-range ability on a consistent level, he can knock down some open ones.
Won't happen right away, but Jeremy Lamb has all the tools, I think, to be a fantastic defender at the NBA level. Young players oftentimes take a couple of years to figure it out defensively, but he's got everything he needs to be elite at that end.
Westbrook kicks to Lamb. A 3. Rebound by the Pistons. Jay, the pass to Detome. Pistons passing it around. No good from Jay. And Jeremy Lamb, a 6'11" wingspan for this kid. He's shown promise offensively as well.
Very smooth with that jump shot. He can finish big time when he gets to the rim. Still young and paying his dues, but you got to love his upside. A lot of potential.
Kicks it to Billups. Pass to Jay. Rebounded by Cephalosha. Looking at Oklahoma City, they took the win in their last game against Dallas.
You know, so often in the NBA we talk about how you have to earn your points the hard way, but it didn't seem like that was the case. Everything came pretty easy.
Too many of their points came the easy way, Steve. You're right. On dunks and layups against the defense that didn't really put up much resistance.
Feeds it to Urebko. Pass to Jay. Lets it go from deep. Perkins pulls it in.
You know, even though he missed that one, great shooters have a way of feeling when they've got enough room to pull the trigger.
Yeah, not enough defensive coverage there to prevent him from firing that time. But yeah, I think if he's open, he's got to let that thing fly.
And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot two.
Drummond was really playing extremely well during his rookie year, and all of a sudden showing the promise that scouts saw in him earlier, and then he had the back injury, and that really put a speed bump.
And in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already. Westbrook with it. Now guarded by Jay. He kicks to Lamb. Fires it up. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. That's 7 points for Lamb. Taking a look at the Thunder. Ibaka and Collison, the duo inside. Backcourt tandem, Westbrook and Jeremy Lamb. And it's Durant in at the small forward position. Lamb with the ball. Now Smith defending. It's Monroe, high post. Here's Billups. Takes it into the teeth of the knee and converts the layup.
Boy, that was impressive. Major height disadvantage, but he still got the shot up over his man.
Well, he's got the poise to handle any matchup, and he's not easily intimidated. You can see that there.
It's Westbrook with the drive. Misses off the left iron.
Awesome defense. I mean, he'll hit those unless you're right in his grill.
No good from Jay. The Thunder leading by 11. Now Westbrook. A 24-point outing in their last game against Dallas.
And he was disruptive defensively, too, Kevin, really aggressively trying to make plays. In fact, he had 4 steals during that game. Nobody anywhere close to him. Where's the defense? He's got to make that shot, though.
Jay, defended by Ibaka. Here's Jay. Off target from three-point range. Thunder have gone 4 of 8 so far here in the second quarter. Poked away. Ibaka, dishes to Durant. Defended by Datome. 6 on the shot clock. Westbrook kicks to Lamb. Here's Collison. Can't get it to go. Good work defensively by Monroe. Billups passes to Jay. He feeds it to Monroe. It's taken away by Collison. Westbrook gets a screen from Ibaka. Here's Lamb. Detroit with the rebound. And going against Oklahoma City, their first meeting of the year.
And, of course, 2 teams in opposite conferences. They're only going to play twice, 1 on each team's floor.
Dishes it to Monroe. And the pass to Jay. Back to Monroe. Detroit, no good that time either. The Thunder leading by 11. I'll keep talking about, just the lack of meetings between these 2 teams from different conferences, and probably isn't a whole lot of hostility between them, not a lot of emotion, at least right now. All that being said, Clark, it still makes you think for very interesting matches.
I'd say so. I mean, these West versus East contests give us a chance to see the style differences between the conferences, which are sometimes much more pronounced than you might think.
That's a real good point, because there are different feel, different kind of players, ways rosters are made up, and so
free.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
It's a lively Friday evening here at 2K Sports. Hopefully you're...
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Well, you look at Russell Westbrook in this game. Pistons trail by 10. Monroe and Drummond there inside. Chauncey Billups out there with Jay, and it's Smith in at the 3. That's the group for Detroit right now. Oklahoma City's gone 2 of 5 with the three-point shot since coming out of the break. And Jay gets the whistle that time. That'll be his second foul of the game. Baca against Monroe. Back to Perkins. Outside Williams for the 3.
They've not had the same success from outside here in the second half that they did in the first. So it might make sense to look at going inside a little more this half.
And Smith backing in. A fader gets it to go. Now just a 5-point Thunder lead.
Well, after a horrible half of shooting, they bounced back here in the second half and picked up their shooting percentage quite nicely.
Now here's Westbrook, guarded close. Gets it to go. Westbrook's got 18 points in the game.
You know, it seems like when they've gone to him, he's really come through. And that's not something they should get away from.
They get a hand on it. Perkins dishes to Westbrook. It's blocked.
And it seems like nothing is falling for him this quarter. He's really out of his rhythm.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Hey, Kevin. Jay in that last game against the Pacers gave them a bit of a boost. He ended with 25 points, and along with what he did on the offensive end, he also played some stellar defense as well. A truly dominating game from him in what was hopefully a sign of things to come. At least that's how the franchise is thinking, guys.
All right, thanks, Doris. He's got a lot of positives to take away from that game, clearly, Steve.
Yeah, he played a huge role for them. His contributions are always important, but I thought he was particularly good that night.
Yeah, he was very solid. Just really locked in, engaged, on task. Solid performance.
He muscles it in through the contact, and they call the foul. He's on his way to the free throw line.
You know, if you were only looking at the way he's played offensively, you'd think his team would be ahead.
Hey, we all know how hard it was for the Thunder going into last season to trade away their sixth-man star, James Harden, but it was something that had to be done. They really missed his playmaking ability, though, and I think they missed him in the locker room, too.
He dishes it to Billups. The feet to Monroe. From 6 away, and that one's good. Monroe's got 10 points in the game.
Good job there, Kevin, getting himself a little space on the inside.
And for the Thunder, a financial decision to trade away Harden. They've already tied up Steve money and big contracts to Durant and to Westbrook, Ibaka, and Perkins.
Hey, Kevin, I think a lot of people question why they didn't keep Harden and maybe move Ibaka or Perkins. I think Perkins would have been maybe the best option, but he's really looked at as their best post defender and a guy who brings leadership and toughness. So it was a very difficult decision, but there's no doubt this team missed James Harden.
Ibaka sets the pick for Jackson. Lamb. And a miss there on the triple.
Rebounds are split just about down the middle in this game, Clark.
I'd venture to guess whichever team is able to maintain that energy level on the glass will have the upper hand the rest of the way.
Datome, the pass to Monroe. 6 to shoot. The Pistons working the ball around now. The Pistons need to get off a shot here. And they're unable to get the tying basket there.
It's one thing to intimidate with your play, and it's another to get in the face of a player's shot you just blocked. Last season, Ibaka took it to that next level and ruffled some feathers by doing just that. Most any NBA player can make you pay when you leave them that wide open. That's why you have to stay alert on defense.
Here's Jay. Another 3 for Detroit.
How about that? They respond to a three-pointer with a quick 3 of their own.
Yeah, terrific. Great back-and-forth sequence right there.
And speaking of Ibaka getting feisty, I remember seeing him get into it. In fact, with Coach Brooks when he was subbed out of a game, there was that flagrant foul against Blake Griffin. He's got a few.
Well, he's showing a little bit of a hot-headed streak, Kevin. I like that. A little feistiness. I like that from him.
Westbrook with it. Now guarded by Jay. Backing down. There's the dish to Durant. And it's out of bounds. Oklahoma City able to retain possession here. And here's the upcoming schedule for the Thunder. The Wizards on the road to face them after this game. That game is the first and last of their homestand. Here's Westbrook. He passes to Lamb. Shoots it. Again, the Thunder score.
Tell you what, they haven't exactly been shy about letting it fly from deep here in the second half.
You know, Steve, if you have the lead, you can afford to be a little comfortable with the three-point shot. You just don't want to fall too much in love with it.
So the Thunder 5 right now. Backcourt tandem, Westbrook and Jeremy Lamb. Durant is out there with Caron Butler, and it's Cephalosha in at the 3 spot. Ibaka sets the pick for Westbrook. Pass to Lamb. Back to Westbrook. 5 on the clock. Kicks to Lamb. That one a little long.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get too many better looks from that range.
It's stolen by Lamb. And here we go with Westbrook heading to the hoop. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top. But instead, he'll shoot free throws. Stuck it. And so he's picked up his final foul. And he will sit for the rest of this game.
Well, luckily, they've got some really solid backup. You hate to see a player DQ'd, disqualified due to fouls, but they can do a decent job of replacing his production.
Brandon Jennings, he's checked in for Detroit.
You know, Detroit, despite how they struggled, did a few good things last year, even though they fell way short of the playoffs. But playing against the Western Conference, playing well against the Western Conference, wasn't one of the things they did well.
Smith against Westbrook. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession. And here's what the Detroit Pistons schedule looks like. This game is finished. They'll be off to Portland taking on the Trailblazers. And that'll be game 1 of a 4-game road trip.
And you know that Golden State game, guys, has a lot of attention on it.
Pistons trailed by 13. Well, as you mentioned, with the Pistons and the West, just a 4-26 record for them, Clark, and with the second worst in the entire league. Steve, only 1 win better than the Bobcats, who had a league-low 3 in that category. What went wrong there?
Well, it's the youth for sure. They made a lot of mental mistakes. They didn't have that one player who could consistently create his own shot and open up space. That's one of the reasons they went out and got Josh Smith, to try to be that player and that leader.
And out of bounds as the Thunder gain possession.
And not a good idea throwing the ball down the court that far.
Butler against Smith. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. It's going to be on Josh Smith.
Remember last year, one of the stranger scenes of the season? Jonas Valanciunas of the Raptors was just winding down the clock, holding the ball. Caron Butler reaches out to shake his hand. And then when Valanciunas responds with his hand, Butler steals the ball from him. I mean, like the Keystone Cops out there.
Here's Jay. And here is Malone. Here's Jay. No good. And they can't put an end to this drought. Back to Butler. I remember that play. Just a strange thing, Clark, to see. But it might have been, just him having a little fun with the rookies.
Well, it taught the valuable lesson of never stop playing until that horn sounds, Kevin. The game wasn't close, so it was of no consequence. It ended up being one of the more entertaining scenes from the NBA last year.
How about that nice 1-2 punch there, guys? Great defensive play, and of course, it leads to the great basket in transition.
Love the attacking style there, Steve.
Westbrook drives in. Good work defensively by Monroe.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
Smith kicks to Jennings. Passes it to Jay. It's back to Jennings. Butler with the steal. And Kevin Durant with the slam. And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Thunder.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ballgame.
And the other thing they're doing is they're forcing turnovers and then converting those miscues into points at the other end.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Hi, guys. I had a chance to find out what Scott Brooks was discussing with his players. His message? I don't want us patting ourselves on the back just yet. We can congratulate ourselves after the final horn. Right now, we need to go out there and take this one home. Guys?
Thanks again, Doris.
Nice kick out after the defense had collapsed on him.
Jay. He's covered by Westbrook. And Smith backing in. Serge Ibaka with the rebound. Ibaka's got 9 rebounds in the game, getting it done. Outside Westbrook. The kick outside to Butler. Misses the 3.
Kind of rare to see him come up empty on a wide open look.
Here's Jay. Shot is off, and it's Oklahoma City the other way. Here's Lamb, using his post move to get the 2 points. Lamb's got 4 points in the quarter.
And tack on a few more points to the lead. Why not? I suppose this is an emphatic showing for this club.
And, Steve, they did it in style, a beatdown the entire way.
Pass to Westbrook. Feeds to Durant. Back to Westbrook. He kicks it to Lamb. This one for 3. Detroit with the rebound.
And I think this is going to be too much to overcome, Clark. What do you think?
All the sand in the hourglass is gone, and I agree with you.
Jay. Here's Monroe. And the bank shot is good.
You got to put bodies on the glass right there. They just are not getting it done on the boards.
Yeah, they've got to do a much better job of going harder than that to the glass.
And Jay gets the whistle that time. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. And the Thunder making a switch here. Both shots good from the stripe. We've got 13 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this one. There's the pass to Caldwell Pope. He feeds it to Uredko. Releases from 15, and the jumper is good.
This run probably just a case of too little too late.
But at least they're still going after it and playing hard. It would have been very easy to throw in the towel a while ago.
So no problem for Oklahoma City as they get the win. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys...
Six triples for you tonight. After losing, looking back on how it turned out though, do you feel like you should have been maybe focusing elsewhere on offense, like passing the ball some more or trying to get to the free throw line?
Sure. Yeah, man, that must be it. I'll try that next game, okay? Pass up all my open threes for an extra pass or a reckless drive into the lane. Man, I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Surely that mindset would have got us the win tonight. It definitely didn't have anything to do with our lack of communication on defense or our sloppy execution in general. There's just no way, man. Automatic W next game then, man. Mark it down.